Yes, hi, good morning and good afternoon and evening to all of you out there. As Holger mentioned, yes, I work in DP World as Global Asset Management Specialist since 2013. And equipment reliability is my main line of work. Um, so I work along with the business units in developing reliability programs for the key cranes and yard cranes and mobile equipment. And I'm grateful with the opportunity to speak here in this forum. And well, my approach to the conversation is more related to the equipment per se and how the technology is growing really fast nowadays, probably at um, faster pace than that we can adapt to it. And I will share a couple of slides on how the technology is used and where it's heading in terms of equipment reliability, which is a key piece of the port service reliability. Is just one link of, of the chain. So let me just change one slide here. And if we take our equipment and let's say how historically has been maintained or service, is that we have an uptime for our equipment, and then we receive a failure alert. This might come from the crane management system or from the operators or from the maintenance people. And then with this, we need to schedule a inspection, repair, and then prepare all the tool parts and the materials that we need to execute that repair. Then we execute it, we go ahead and conduct one inspection, and then the equipment is back in service. So let's say this is how historically things um, have been doing. Now, when in a port terminal, in a container port terminal, actually is way different from the other industries that I have been involved with, because there is a huge deal of pressure, especially when we have a vessel on the quay, and then one of the cranes is out. So when we have this kind of pressure in our working crews engage those failures, usually they got in in a trial and error exercise where they go ahead and they fix the issue just to get equipment back in service. Um, but then that the same pressure and the same approach of the trial and error doesn't allow us in the engineering teams to understand, to have a full understanding why the failures are showing up. Therefore, we cannot put effective measures in place to avoid them from happening in the future and effectively eliminate them. And what we want to do is to have, and this is where the technology is leading us nowadays, and we have a lot of resources out there, and a lot of the OEMs are engaging in putting sensors all around the equipment, and then we have other vendors offering solutions and products, which if we look at them as a standalone, let's say piece, it might work, but we know in this business that a crane and a container port it has a lot of moving parts. And so usually the standalone solutions are not as effective as we would like to be. So on the screen, you can see that the approach where we are going, and I'm sure we will reach that period running sooner or later, but we have all this machine learning technology in place that we can, let's say, receive the information faster. We can receive or somehow define patterns for the equipment failures and behavior, and we can identify how the machine failure is evolving in time, so we can have a better preparation. So we have all these sensors in place, and then we have automated failure reporting that we can receive in our laptop computers, or even in the mobile phones. So with that being said, we have these systems allow us to have a visualization of the current condition of the equipment based on those patterns in time that the machine is going through, to have a better understanding. Now, sometimes what is missing, and I have experienced this in several, let's say, workspaces where we deploy the technology, and we have the wrong expectation that the technology will give us reliability, and it's not like that. The technology is good in the way that we understand how our equipment is failing, and in a way that how we understand the technology and how we can mash those things together, to have a better support in the decisions, and especially to have better timing in the decisions. So once we have all these machine learning failure evolving going on, and then these automated notifications, we are able to in automatic way use our EAMS or our CMMS to make a automatic repair schedule, especially if we can integrate the EAMS, which is the maintenance management system, and then with the tools that will give us all the information related to when the equipment will be available and for how long. And then the system can identify that and schedule the repair. In the same way, we can also engage in some automated tools and parts management that we have everything ready beforehand. And then, yes, we have to stop the equipment. Ideally, we can get some technology assisted repairs for two reasons. Not because we don't trust our people, but we need the technology in the repairs to assess the quality of those repairs and avoid the trial and error exercise. So we know that when the equipment is going back to service, it will go in a reliable way. And now with all the robotics and the drone technology, we can also engage some of those inspections that before were done by people before we release the equipment back in service. So the whole idea of the preparation beforehand and using the technology is to, and you can see in the screen, is to reduce the amount of time that the equipment is out of service. And then we go to the uptime again. Now, one of the, and to engage in all this technology and reliability, there are many aspects that can be discussed. And then I try to pick one that might be relevant, let's say, for the audience here. And the one I picked up is the level of readiness of our companies to embrace the technology. And this is, let's say, an exercise, is a change management exercise that we can assess different aspects of how well or how well prepared we are to embrace a specific technology. And this assessment can be let's say, goes from not prepared to moderately prepared and then full prepared. And at least there should be four basic aspects to evaluate when we are embracing technology. And all start with executive management. And the executive management, there is a very narrow understanding in terms of the technology, because everything goes to dollars and cents and actually that is their role, to use those dollars and cents to, in particular, to align it with the strategic vision, and then let's say move ahead. But we need to know what is the level of the commitment in the executive buy-in. If that strategic vision is, if what we want to do with technology is aligned or not with the company a strategic vision. And the other thing is, what will be the business need and the impact? We need to find a way to measure how the technology will help our business to be better. We will be able to be more efficient, which is probably nowadays what we want to do in terms of business, with all this situation going around and in the overall global economy, let's say, suffering a hiccup. But how this particular technology will impact, and how and where will we visualize? And of course, from the executive perspective, we need to see this in the profit and loss in balance sheet. I mean, how this technology can be seen there. Of course, there is an organizational or a culture thing where we need to train our people and also retrain and develop new skills, because the technology comes with new ways of do things, and we need to reskill many times our people to do that, and also have an organizational alignment. Why? Because let's say, and I can speak from my, let's say, from my a small university, which is engineering, but in engineering, we are part of a whole. I mean, we have partnership with operations, with finance, with HR, with safety, and whatever we do as a company in terms of technology, everyone should be aligned, because there will be an input from everyone, and then there will be an output of that technology that somehow will impact everyone. And then we go ahead with it enabling the processes. Do we have the infrastructure to embrace this technology in our business? And of course, the budget and resource allocation. And then last but not least, as a minimum aspect of level of readiness, is the data governance, especially nowadays, where we can have, let's say, tons of data, but that data is not meaningful if we cannot make or support decisions with it. But we need to find a way to handle that data, to make it reliable, and then we can have, let's say, reliable decisions made. And when we want to discuss the level of readiness, we do it because we want to make sure that all our risks are identified, and whatever we put in place is a wide change organization type of thing. And just to finish, just a couple things here. One thing that we deal with the technology is, if we go and do an aggressive investment in technology, which is um, not proven. It is a little bit unrealistic, but if we wait on the sidelines as well, it is unrealistic. So it's just a personal opinion, but a way to embrace technology is to understand what is the strategic roadmap of our suppliers and our power equipment or OEMs, and then align our investment and align our plans with those roadmaps. Because sometimes the offering from the technology companies, they are good solutions, but we as a customer, we are not ready. And sometimes we demand some things that our suppliers are not ready. So alignment is key in all this. So this is what I wanted to share. Back to you, Holger. Thank you.